It gives me a great pleasure to have with us today Navneet Kaur. Navneet is the founder and CEO of Femtech India, a leading platform driving innovation and collaboration in women's health tech space. With rich entrepreneurial background, she successfully built and scaled her first consumer brand company across 6 states. In 2022, driven by profound passion for advancing women's health, Navneet transitioned into Femtech. Leading a dedicated team of professionals, Femtech India offers comprehensive services to Femtech founders, encompassing specialized consulting, research, market entry guidance, mentorship, and valuable networking opportunities. Navneet will talk about femtech innovation in India, the fifth largest economy in the world. Navneet, just because of time concerns, you have around 12 minutes.
Thank you so much for having me. Um, I'm a founder of Femtech India. We are India's leading platform contributing into women's health tech ecosystem. Um, I only have like less time, so I think I will just go into main points as well. As you already know, we are collaborating, working with founders, investors, building the network and robust community, which is contributing into the growth of Femtech industry. Our ecosystem, we work with on 4 strategic pillars. One is our ecosystem, founder circle, virtual community, and consulting. Under our consulting, we do our market access, pricing strategy, regulation strategy, distribution network, custom clearance. So end to end, helping founders getting into Indian market. Our key principles of our business and values has always been education and advocacy. I feel women's health lack a lot of education, so we try to fill those gaps through our newsletter, podcast, community building events, which we don't tend to make any revenue. It's just giving back to the society and the community. And fourth is our research. As I mentioned, that women's health industry does not exist in investor thesis in India, and a lot of investors are unsure about not understanding the market. How do they invest in? So we try to build in women's health thesis from the ground up. Even we are building industry specific white papers, which would be sector specific, talking about opportunities, gaps, and landscape, which can help Indian company as well as global companies to get into the market and understand what India has to offer. And yeah, this is, we have been at the forefront, as I said, in a year and a half. We've done around 25 plus events empowering women. We also have in a podcast. I have been part of G20 policies, contributing into women's health tech and startup ecosystem policies to how to integrate technology, and also bringing awareness to femtech sector, which is not very many startup ecosystem people are aware of that. And I've also recently attended Women's Health Forum in Singapore. We've also launched first ever book on femtech. This was the first ever book launched globally, focused on highlighting women's health landscape globally, but this was very Indian specific, only bringing South Asian women at the forefront and talking about innovation opportunities and gaps. We currently have 80 plus companies on board with us. We partner with governments, 6 states government across India. We have 45 plus distribution network and importers and exporter. Currently, we work with 7 plus countries from different companies, helping them get market access for India. We have 150 plus founders on board, where we helping them build on network strategy, market access, consulting, as well as networking opportunities. And we are also partner with universities to collaborate, bring on education vertical to educating people more about what are the women's health sector, how is femtech growing, how young students can contribute and use female technology. Yeah, India is hub for growth, as we can, we have the demographic power. India has the highest population now, world highest population, 1.4 billion. We have 108 Indian unicorns, which are valued at 340 billion. And where I'm based out of Bangalore, this is called Silicon Valley of India. And every in out of 1.4 billion, there's 640 million women, which is around 47% of the population, and that comes around 8.5% of world population, which makes it great size for makes India as an interesting market. And of course, we have the youngest population under 25 out of 1.4 billion people. And femtech market in India is projected as 4 billion as per 2024. As I mentioned, demographic power of having 642 million women, increased penetration of internet. India has access to 4G, 5G network, even in rural Indias, which is making more accessibility for people and women and even under served communities to get access to technology. Rising awareness about women's health as the technology is evolving. There's a lot of digital adaptation too, and our government has been supporting in terms of making policies, maternal health leaves, even for the menstruation policies, and government is contributing certain budget to empower underprivileged people and also investing into making India as a digitalization overall. And yeah, when we talk about market size, this is our first report we've actually done on Indian landscape. This was entirely done by our team and with on-ground team working with, local governments in India, state-wise, so tier 1, 2, 3 cities. And what we realize is India is a menstrual care. I think across the world, the menstrual category is the largest category when we look at women's health. But in India, the consumer, as I said, because of the demographic power, the consumer landscape is quite big comparative with the digital landscape, and still in India 60% people prefer offline care, and there are several reasons behind this, which I will explain in my next slides. So 35% market shares goes to menstrual care products, which is your period tracking, menstrual tampons, period products and all that. Maternal health is again one of the growing sector as well, which is 25%. Diagnostic and wearables, we don't have a lot of innovation, which is currently we don't have many companies building in that sector, but yes, there is a demand for those such tech devices, which makes a great opportunity for global companies to come in and tap in that sector. Fertility and contraceptive has also been on growth because number of IVF clinics getting, there's a lot of demand for IVF clinic. We've also seen every year the IVF clinic numbers are increasing. Personal and hygiene care, that also has been one of the top category, as comes under similar to the menstrual care products. Companies are building menstrual products, but they're also adding intimate hygiene category as a growing one. Menopause care is something, it's still really new because there's still a lot of education and awareness gap, and I think that category is growing and building. And as per our report, which we will be launching it very soon, we are predicting that menopause and fertility will be the two growing sectors in India. Yeah. So as I already mentioned that, the population and what is contributing, the revolution in femtech is that, the fertility, it started from fertility, as India is the, largest growing market in IVF clinics, and currently it's affecting about 10 to 14% of Indian population, which is higher rates in urban areas, whereas 1 out of 6 couples are impacted, right? So nearly 27.5 million couples suffer from infertility in India, and that's where your fertility clinic and IVF sector, we've seen tremendous growth, and a lot of private equity funds also coming into that place. What we're looking at is also in terms of reproductive health. Adoption of period tracking app has been really wide in terms of even global apps as well. Like companies like Clueflow has the largest market share from India for both Android and iOS users. And of course, the rising disposable income has increased in India comparatively previous years now. So if we see now is 3,346 billion in 2022, and which we are seeing tremendous growth, that a lot of global companies and global players are dominating, coming into the different sectors, which is also contributing into female health landscape. And the combination factors which are driving growth, as I mentioned that the policies and central government is supporting lot of favorable schemes for women especially dedicated to that, and digital penetration that a lot of people are using. We are the first one in the world to use UPI payment, which is anyone can scan the barcode and make a payment. And I think not just like tier 1 cities, if you go to rural India, tier 2 3 cities as well, people who are not even educated, they are also using technology to make that scan code as a digital payment, using that as a digital payment. And which is again government is trying to empower that technology is a way forward for India and overall contributing to the digital landscape, but also which I think will also potentially empower in telemedicine has seen huge growth, and which will also empower a women's health sector overall. As I mentioned that fertility and IVF has been growing market, and how is it also makes it medical tourism for India, because IVF is cost is much cheaper in India comparatively UK and US. So we see a lot of tourists coming to India and seeking these treatments and going back to their countries, which makes it very reasonable and affordable. And also the IVF success rates are much higher than comparatively any other countries. And we are also seeing a lot of women in India actually getting into workforce. So more women are getting into workforce, more women are getting educated, more women have financial freedom and power to decide what they want to do. That has been contributing a huge contributor factor overall. And the product landscape is, as I said, it's a very diverse that menstrual health is a leading category. And again, after menstrual health, PCOS has become very big in India, and we've seen a lot of funding coming into the sector post pandemic because of the lifestyle factors that contributing to this sector. And we still don't have anything apart from preventive care. So if anything innovative or any solution in terms of product and service can come in, that could be a game changer for Indian market too. And the telemedicine and personal market is a huge, very very huge as of now, because as post pandemic we saw the trend, a lot of people were going digital. We have e-pharmacies, which is few names as Practo, which is India's leading app on telemedicine. There is 1mg, which is e-pharmacy. You can order your medicine online as well, and that market is as of now 2024 projected 4.6 billion, and by 11.2 billion by 2023. So again, that technology and overall health sector is growing and improving. When we talk about femtech,
Just 2 more minutes, Navneet.
Yeah, I think I would just skip this slide because this is just the femtech. These are some of the factors that kind of money has come into Indian sector. The total investment, what we've seen is a startup ecosystem, as I mentioned, that has grown. A lot of companies has come to India, which has also contributed to 6.4 billion funding in 2022 so far in India. So India is an increase by 45% in total investment in healthcare startups. These are some of the government policies, how that will benefit overall. Again, I'm happy to share this slide. I think we don't have time. This is how we work with companies. We work, of course, understanding business model, regulatory framework, market strategy, distribution channel, and of course GTM, end-to-end handling everything. And of course, this is the program we are launching at Femtech India to help companies who just want to understand how Femtech market works. So it's a growth strategic model just to give understanding, also contributing our research piece, which we are conducting, as I said, white papers, sector specific, and these will be given to the founders. And this is cohort program, which we will be working with 10 founders globally just to help them understand product market fit, pricing strategy, regulation, taxation framework, and overall Indian market entry, and which potentially startups can show as a market landscape, but they can also raise funding, which we help many companies to do that from Europe. And we have a student ambassador program as well. As I said, education and awareness has been our key vertical, and we do want to contribute and understand how Gen Zs are looking at women's health landscape, and of of course, how can we bring more awareness to sector Femtech, which is underrepresented, and this program also contributed to research, doing research with students, and we will be doing our first research project with London, Imperial College of London and Edinburgh University in few months. And yeah, these are partners, Ministry of Child and Development, Health in India. I've been part of the policy scheme, Startup India, G20, being part of the policies, USAID, organization is part of our mission as well. We did work with McKinsey, Forbes, Guardia, which is world leading company from the US. And yes, that's it.
Thank you so much, Navneet, for introducing us to Femtech India. And anyone in the audience who would consider working in this market is, of course, welcome to approach Navneet.